The man in front of you is a real factory owner. His name is Elon Li, a Chinese citizen. In Guangzhou, one of China's key manufacturing hubs, Elon runs a small workshop with 11 workers. They produce low-cost metal ovens. Simple, affordable, and always in demand. 4 years ago, he considered a major upgrade, a welding robot. Equipped with a precision camera, it could seal every edge of an oven faster and more accurately than any human. It could run 24/7, no breaks, no fatigue, only output. But two problems stopped him. First, the machines were not made in China. They had to be imported. Second, the price, around $140,000. So he walked away. But today, the story has changed. Now Elon is ready to buy the same type of robot. So what changed? He is no longer importing it. He is buying it locally for just $40,000, less than a third of the original price. And this shift is not just about one factory. It reflects something much bigger. China is in the middle of a technological transformation that is quietly reshaping global manufacturing. In its economic rivalry with the United States, China has built a set of powerful strategic advantages. But one of the most important, and often underestimated, is this: robots. Not just individual machines, but an entire ecosystem. Factories powered by automation, production lines enhanced by artificial intelligence, an industrial system designed to scale faster, cheaper, and smarter than ever before. China is no longer just building products. It is building an army of machines. How did it reach this point? How long has this been in motion? And can it dominate the global manufacturing race? That is what we are exploring today. But to understand where China is going, we need to understand where robotics began. The idea of machines performing human tasks is not new. It goes back over a century. The word robot was first introduced in 1920 by Czech writer Karel Čapek in his play R.U.R., derived from robota, meaning forced labor. Since then, robot has become a general term for programmable machines that can perform tasks automatically. By the 1960s, robotic arms appeared in factories across the United States and Europe, but they were limited. Simple movements, repetitive tasks, no flexibility, no intelligence, just machines repeating the same actions endlessly. Then came a turning point. Between 2000 and 2010, robots gained a crucial ability: computer vision. With cameras and processing power, machines could now see. They could identify objects, track movement, and respond in real time. Everything changed. Robots became more flexible, more precise, more autonomous. They could adapt instead of simply executing instructions. For decades, the United States and Europe led this industry. High-value robotics, advanced manufacturing systems. Meanwhile, China was known as the world's factory, a hub for low-cost mass production. But that balance began to shift. Around 20 years ago, China started upgrading its industrial base, moving into advanced manufacturing. And one sector became the turning point: the automotive industry. Because if one industry defines modern manufacturing, it is cars. According to the International Federation of Robotics, the automotive sector alone accounts for around 30% of all industrial robots worldwide. And here is the key detail. Most car factories built between 2005 and 2025 were built in China. Even outside China, a significant share of industrial equipment is manufactured there. That level of dominance did not happen by chance. As China expanded its industrial capacity, the next step was clear: increase automation. But this was not random innovation. It was a coordinated national strategy, backed by policy and massive investment. The goal was twofold. First, to boost productivity across a massive industrial base. Second, to offset a shrinking, aging workforce and declining interest in factory jobs. In 2015, this strategy became official with Made in China 2025, a 10-year plan to transform China's industrial future. The objective was ambitious: move from low-cost manufacturing to global leadership in advanced industries, not just producing, but designing, innovating, and competing globally. The plan focused on 10 sectors, including AI and information technology, robotics and automation, green energy, aerospace, advanced transport, medical devices, agricultural machinery, and more. But what matters most is this: China did not start from zero. It played strategically. Instead of relying only on domestic development, it combined two approaches: build locally, acquire globally. Chinese companies acquired leading robotics firms abroad, then transferred knowledge and production back to China. One major example is KUKA, a German robotics leader operating in over 20 countries. It was acquired by China's Medea Group. That deal accelerated China's access to advanced robotics technology. And today, more industrial robots are being manufactured in China than ever before. Let's see what that looks like. Volkswagen opened a new electric vehicle factory in Hefei, China in 2024. Inside that factory, 1,075 robots. How many were built outside China? Just one. The remaining 1,074 were made in Shanghai. Now another example, Zeekr, under China's Geely Group, launched its factory in 2021. From day one, it was built for automation. Autonomous systems move materials across the factory floor. Furnaces over 6 meters tall melt aluminum into car components, doors, frames, structural parts. Then machines transfer everything to the assembly line. At the core are 16 synchronized robotic units assembling entire vehicles. This is known as the dark factory because it operates without human workers, and in some areas, even without lights. Robots work independently. At the end of the line, 12 high-precision cameras scan every vehicle. AI compares each result to previous builds and flags any defect within seconds. No delays. No manual inspection bottlenecks. When the factory opened, it had 500 robots. Today, it has over 820, a 64% increase in 4 years. And this is not limited to automotive production. China now operates more industrial robots than the United States, Germany, and Japan combined. Over 250,000 robots are active across its factories, and they are spreading beyond mega factories into smaller companies as well. China is not just automating production, it is restructuring labor itself, and investment is massive. Recently, China's NDRC announced a $137 billion fund focused on robotics and AI. But that is only part of the picture. Over the past 4 years, nearly $2 trillion has been provided through state-backed financing to upgrade factories and expand automation. This is not just industrial growth, it is a redesign of how production works. This is not just about robots, and it is not just about factories. What China is building is a new model of production. Faster, cheaper, and increasingly independent from human limits. And in a world driven by manufacturing, that kind of advantage doesn't stay local, it reshapes global power. And this time, the center of that power is shifting.